Hello everybody, Leaflit here. People were asking if I can make monster characters with this. As you can see, you can make all sorts of really crazy stuff with this thing. So yeah. Anyway, this is going to be the tutorial video for how to make how to do the whole thing. The program is now out, if you were wondering. If you saw the last video, which explains the creation aspect, go ahead and skip that part and go to the end, which explains the client. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the other side. Hey guys, Leaflet here. So the program's finally out, and I'm gonna show you guys how to use it and how to get it. This isn't like early alpha, obviously. So there's probably gonna be some problems with it, like inevitably there will be. If there's any problems with it, you can at me on X, or you could also respond to Malcolm Collins from Basecamp, rfab.ai as well, if you're using that version of it. And we are planning to just releasing this on GitHub at some point in the near future, so other people can, you know, make their own fixes to it and stuff like that. It's like I said, I'm not really trying to make anything off of this. Okay, anyway, so to get the program, we've got our website, which is clio.angelsword.com. That's clio.angelsword.com. And it brings up this website here. And you would just click up here on AS Adventure. If you're interested to learn more about our game, we've got the Marine campaign right here, the combat school right here, as well as we have an actual full adventure game you can play, and it's pretty crazy. Like you can.
Hello.
It's like a whole
Welcome
game.
to the free trade city of Mother Green.
And if you want to learn about the lore and stuff like that, but you know, you're here for the VTuber system. So AS Adventure, and this will run you through it. So you can download the client and the creator here, and it just kind of goes through it with you. There's two different methods here. So you can either run it locally, and this is going to be self-hosted. You're going to need your own API keys, or if you want to use your own videos, you want to use your own videos like Grok or anything, the video creator of your choice, or even handmade. You can do it yourself. If you have the ability to do so, you can use this to actually do all of that stuff. And then rfab.ai is if you don't have an API key of yourself, and you don't really know anything about that and you don't want to learn, you can use rfab.ai. This is a website for a really good friend of mine, Malcolm, over at Basecamp, and he has this whole bunch of suite of AI tools. You can check them out. You're just gonna click on rfab if you want to go there, and you're gonna click on the you're gonna click right here on the Leaflit's AI VTuber Studio, but we're not here for that. You know, you can run it locally, and you're going to need the client as well. So there's two different things here. There's the creator, which is what lets you make the movies. It lets you make the transparent background, you know, transparent. I'm just gonna say it like as easy as I can. Transparent background videos, which are the building blocks of all of this. And you're gonna use the this. And if you're looking for a guide on that, how to use that, I released a video earlier, and I will probably also add it to the bottom of this tweet, so you can check it out there. Now we're going to be talking about the client here, and this is the actual thing that you use to control like the whole thing. So again, two different programs. Create your thing and run the thing in your OBS. All right, so you just hit that, and then you should just download it. And you just want to unzip that into a folder. Anyway, we're going to go on and show you this. So here, you're going to enter your phone's IP address. So you can find that in, and this is if your phone's internal IP address. And this is how you connect. It's if you are already a VTuber, you already know how to do this. You're going to use either your VTube Studio app or your iFacial mocap, whichever one that you use if you're using an iPhone. And you're just going to go into your settings. You're going to settings and then look up your internet connection, and then check for your IP that's going to be in there. You're going to enter that in here. You're going to connect. And then you have the eye facial mocap here as well you can connect to, or webcam. I will be 100% honest, I did not check webcam, so I actually don't know if this works because I don't have a webcam. So I don't know, maybe somebody can test this out for me, see if that works. Over here you get your microphone, so you just choose your microphone source through this drop down list, and then you enable. So I'm gonna go ahead and enable it on the side, and you can see now it's tracking. I didn't do it here, I'm doing it in a different window, but you can see that it's actually tracking my face. If I'm sad, if I'm happy, if I'm surprised, or if I'm neutral. It tracks all of those expressions, kind of the main expressions, really. And you can change those settings over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and enable the microphone, so you can see my microphone is tracking as well. And you can change like the sensitivity. So everyone's face is different, so you're gonna want to do this yourself. Just give a big smile, look for a number, and you want something like kind of below it, but not too far, because you don't want to like go too far in between the emotions like too quickly. You want it to kind of, you go into the emotion, and then it doesn't take as much to maintain it. You want like the big spike from the emotion happening. And then, so after that, you're gonna do all that, close eye sensitivity. This is for the eyes closed thing. And then, I don't really use this that much, but, it's the last thing I ever add on a model, but you can add that if you want. Mic threshold, this is, everything, by the way, if you hover over it, it will tell you. You can't really see it. So some of them don't have tooltips. Oh, there we are. Some of them do. But mic threshold is like how much do you have to speak for your microphone to detect. So you have like the number here, right? Typing sensitivity, this is to detect typing as a very specific sound. This feature is very, very alpha, so I haven't tested this feature as much, but it does work when I've tried it. Now, this is if you want to have a specific animation for when you're typing, and that's because, you know, as a VTuber myself, I know that when you type, like our microphones are usually like right in front of our face, and usually the keyboard's right below it, so it will usually pick up that speaking. I'm sorry, that typing. So, I've set it up so if it hears a sound that sounds like typing, it will play a typing animation. And if you're having problems with this, you can just turn it off. But you can also set the sensitivity on that as well. Speaking hold basically is how long the speaking animation stays active after a silence. So like if you talk in little breaks like me, and if you can't, like, you know, if you're shy or you're introverted or you stutter or something like that, speaking hold is really good to help with that, so it doesn't jitter when you talk. If you talk again in bursts like I do, you probably wanna change that if you don't. Eyes closed delay is this is like how long does it have to detect that your eyes are closed in order to activate the eyes closed state. So it just, this is like kind of depends on how much of a delay you want on that. Expression hold here is how long excuse me, how long a new expression must be stable before switching. So the higher it is, the more stable it is, but it's slower to react, and the lower is more responsive, but it might flicker. So this is like how reactive, and a lot of these things are honestly are going to be up to you to decide. Like it's up to you, it's your style of VTubing you pick. If you want to have and it's kind of like always a you give and you take, right? So for example, when you're making the animations, the more expressive you make them, right? Like if you have hand movements or anything like that between the animations, it's going to be more expressive, but you are going to have more of that kind of like what would you call it? Like a shift, like a quick shift where like it actually just kind of jumps to like a different animation. And that's because of the difference between the two different animations. So it's really up to you. If you wanted to make it like super smooth, I would keep all of the animations very, very simple, very, very kind of the same silhouette, so it doesn't have any problems with that. But if you want to do something more grand, like more like your hands are flailing when you're talking, then it's going to obviously it's gonna flicker, well, not really flicker, but jitter a lot more. You're gonna have your character like kind of shifting, because again, these are just like looping animations. Your exit resistance is like how much the emotion score must drop before switching expressions, and this is to also prevent the sort of animation flickering, right? And then you've got your SFX volume. So this is if you add sounds to your emotes, which you can do. And you can turn off if you want to mute it, and then you can turn it back on, and you've got a nice slider here. And then you've got transition duration. Now this is affects a blur and pop crossfade, which is specifically to kind of help with the animation transition so that they're not as like snappy. So it feels like there's a little bit more of it's smoother. So this one's really, again, up to you. You're just gonna find what's best for you. Some people like it on 0, which means like it's just gonna immediately switch. And some people like a little bit of a blur and like a crossfade on it. Crossfade, I would just leave off, to be honest. It's kind of some advanced stuff. For most people, this is gonna not work very well, so just keep that on off, honestly. All right, so we're not gonna talk about actually creating the models. This is in another video, but you can see it tells you here that where to create it. But it should come default with the query model, so you can just load up. Query. You can just load query right there. And you also have Kathleen as well as a default. So state override. So this is if you want automatic. If you want, okay. Another thing, by the way, is when you turn this on. So once you've selected your model, you're gonna go down here. You're gonna copy this, right? And when you copy this overlay, and by the way, make sure the port is okay, because it might be 3001 if 3000 is in use. But just copy this, and you're going to want to open up your OBS, and you're going to add a browser source. The URL is going to be this URL here. The width is going to be 1280, and your height is going to be 720. And then once you add that, hit refresh cache of page, and the character should pop up. And it's, you can switch your models here. Okay, so once we have that and it's all connected, you can see here there's a asset status. This tells you what you have connected, and you can see that I have no typing animation, no eyes closed. So that's why when I close my eyes, it's gonna blink out like that. So just make sure that what you can do is, if you don't want an eyes closed animation, just copy the neutral idle and put it into eyes closed, and that usually will solve the problem there. It does accept these formats, so you can have WebM is the preferred format, because WebM is the lightest. But it also accepts GIFs. Don't recommend that. And I don't recommend MP4s either, because there's no transparent, there's no alpha layer. Basically, you're gonna have like a big blocky background if you do that. PNGs are still pretty useful. I use them a lot for still things. So like, for instance, with the transmute wall. This wall is actually a PNG. That way I don't really have to and then I didn't really need motion, so it's just a straight PNG. Now, as far as emotes, so you can see that it actually does track when you speak. So when you want the animation for idling and for speaking, and you can see like it has a little bit of a blur on a pop. That's for the transition duration, and that's basically to make it a little bit smoother. All right. Anyway, you can see that it does track my emotion. So when I smile, it changes the animations as well as the speaking animations when I frown. does that as well. And you could do like shocked, which does that as well. One thing you can do that I think is really cool is for eyes closed, you can instead make it, and I did this for this model here, where if I close my eyes, it actually does a facepalm, which is like really great for way that you can do that, because you would close your eyes when you facepalm in real life. So anyway, I'll go back to the default model here, and then so you can see here it's really kind of easy. So state override, so auto uses emotion tracking. If you don't want the emotion tracking and you want to just stay in, you know, say that you want a little bit more stability, you can just click one of these and it will permanently lock you in that emotional state. So now it's just permanently there. It doesn't matter what my emotions are. It will always stick to that. So now in terms of the emotes are pretty self-explanatory. They're all going to be here and you just click on them if you want to use them. So there are multiple types of emotes. So a type 1 emote, it just plays the emote. And then the associated sounds with it, it'll just play. And that's it. You click it once and it plays. Also try not to spam these because it sometimes can bug out, but I would just wait for the whole animation to finish. Now type 2 emotes, this is ones that say type 2, they are a toggle. Usually like you press it and it does a thing, and then when you press it, it resets. It resets back to the original state. So I use these a lot for AFKs, so let's use like this one right here. So it's like I have to go AFK, so you do this. And by the way, a good way to do this is to just add a transparent PNG with nothing there. And you could just use the one from Query. I would just copy it. If you go into the AFK Fayflash, there is a there's a PNG that says idle.png. You can just steal that and just use that. But anyway, so it actually just remains in this idle state until you press it, and then it plays the outro animation. So it's the same thing with this wall here, where she makes a little wall, and then it will stay with the wall in, which is whatever the idle is. So again, it can be an animation, it could be a PNG, it's whatever you want it to be. And then it will just stay there until you click it again, which will play the outro to reset back to the basic state. Again, very easy to use. Now, some animations can have sub-animations. So, for instance, we use this one right here to pull out the sword. And that opens up the menu, which adds a sub-animation. And if you want to, you can just, I would just look at the query model files. You can see it all in there, like how it works. I just left it in there exactly as how I have it. I don't have a speaking animation rigged to this, but you can. So I'll show you an example of that. So I'm going to get my friend's model here, Kathleen. And she has a animation here where she can pull out an AK. And you can see that her AK has its own speaking animation. So you can have a speaking animation with these second sets here. And you can see, you can just click the sub animations. And these sub animations will play within this animation. So it's a folder that pops out. Press it too fast. So if that's what happens, it's because you pressed it too fast. You basically I messed around with like some button locking, but I just didn't like how it worked, so I removed it for now. Now if you want to go back and put like your weapon away, you just hit the button again up here, and it will pull this menu back up, and then you will return back to the original state. And you can see how you can use this to do a lot of really cool things. So going back to query, and the reason why I'm going back to query is I want to show you that you can have an emoteception. You can have emote within an emote within an emote, right? So we're gonna go ahead and pull the sword out. And again, this has no speaking animation. I do have to set that up. And then you will click, so if you go click a sub animation can have its own child sub animations. So now I can do the ignition attack. And that's it. And then you're just gonna go back up the chain to go back into the neutral spot. So you hit your ignition again, which goes back one step. And then you just click on this and it will bring you all the way back. And you can have multiples of these. Another thing you can do, by the way, is that you can actually have multiple of the same animation. So you can have multiple variations and it will randomly pick one. So this transmute musket has this variant. So here, see, it has another variant of the animation right there. Which both lead into this idle animation, right? And then, you know, you have the sub animations here. So, yeah, you can kind of add as many as you want, really, if you want to do different random variations of them. But anyway, that's mostly it. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's mostly it. That's the program right there. It's very simple, very easy to use. It's kind of really just to get you started in VTubing and, you know, on your way. And then, you know, you can use it for fun collabs. You can use it to make models for whatever game that you're playing, which is the crazy thing about it, is that you can make these so fast. So you can be like, hey, we're gonna go collab this game, like let me make a whip out like a custom model for that. And that's like something you couldn't really do before. And again, it's not really meant to replace Live2D or anything like that, you know. So if you like that, I mean, you should go with that. Eventually that could maybe be your goal after, right? But that's kind of it. And if people want to work on the project, I am going to have like an open source version of it so you can just fork it. And, you know, I really don't care. If somebody wants to take it and make it their own, make a better version of it, I mean, I'd appreciate that because that would be great for everyone, really. But if you want to keep using the official Angel Sword one, that's going to be up on the website. And I'm going to try to do my best to update it, but it's going to be more what I need. So if I need something, I'll probably develop tech for it. If there's a bug that I encounter, I'll probably fix it myself or my friends. So yeah, I mean, feel free to contribute when I get that up. I need to be honest, guys, listen, I'm not a programmer. I don't know shit about any of this. So I just saw something and I wanted to make it. And if there are any programmers out there that say that they can make it better, then, you know, I 100% encourage you to make it better. It only benefits me, benefits everyone else. So I have nothing but I have no motives other than wanting to just make good things for people to use. So go ahead and do it and make it better. One more thing. If you want to check out our tabletop game, though, that's rpg.angelsword.com. This is actually where we got all this from, is making these for our characters. Query is one of these characters. She's actually the tutorial character for Angel Sword. Angel Sword is a tabletop RPG, and it's got a MMO RPG, MMO TTRPG component called Moraine Expedition, which is something along the lines of West March's official canon campaign. It's an official canon campaign for Angel Sword. So if you're looking to become a part of the Angel Sword world and affect the lore, come join us at Moraine. And that's going to be also on the website here. You can check it out right here and learn all about Moraine. And if you want to play for free, the tabletop game is free, of course. So, and that's going to be at rpg.angelsword.com if you're interested in playing the free-to-play RPG, which is right here. And lots of races and lots of classes and stuff right here. And it is our free-to-play tabletop RPG. We update it every 2 to 5 weeks. We try to push an update for it. And yeah, it's free to play. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope somebody makes this better. Make VTubing great again. Peace out. Hey guys, Leaf here. I have an update. I was working on the project for a little bit today. Anyway, the big things are, there are a couple of new features I added. One of them was a little bit of smoothing, animation smoothing, so it pops a little bit now. It has a little intentional like jump that makes the animation switches feel a little bit more intentional. And I think it helps a little bit. And it also added a little bit of voice detection, a change like how it detects, so that it doesn't just cut out right away like when you're speaking, because when people speak they usually talk in bursts, at least I do. Some people also do that, so it doesn't just automatically cut off if you wait like a couple like milliseconds between your next word. Anyway, so I did that, and then some other things I did was a little bit of smoothing for the emotions, so there's a little bit of changes there when going between emotions and stuff like that. Another thing I added was I added randomization. So now you can have multiple lead-in emotes and multiple outro emotes, so that you can run a random emote system where, say you wanted to, I mean, here in this case, I'll transmute my gun. What I can do now is the outro for it, like the switching back to the original state and switching into the gun state, can have a random animation. So here's like an outro. She drops the gun. So drops the gun and then transmute another one. And it's random, so it could play the same one multiple times, but here's another one. See, it plays like a completely different one. And oh, another thing, I added a little bit of fade to the outer box, so you don't have like that square box effect anymore, where it kind of looks like something is just hard cut off on a rectangle. So I changed that as well. But I did that in the editor, so you can choose to have an effect actually go all the way to the edge, which is useful if you're walking off screen or you're doing something like that. Also, the bleed doesn't occur on the bottom because the bottom's cut off anyway, so we didn't do that there. Let's see if we can get the other animation here for the transmute. Again, it's random, so wow, really unlucky. Holy crap. Oh, jeez. Okay, the outro one's working, but oh, there we go. Finally. And then, you know, we've got our... Oh, another thing I added was a little bit of smoke reduction. So I fixed the way the algorithm handles smoke, so it has a little bit of an effect on reducing like the chroma key color on the smoke, but still not perfect, but it's like the best I could get to add a little bit of gray color. So it's not like a bright color. And you can see that on the outer edges, the smoke kind of dissipates. It doesn't just hard cut off on the rectangle. And it's not quite perfect. Like I was thinking about adding like a wave to it or something so that it doesn't cut off in the same spot. But I think it's better than not having it so far. But anyway, we'll put that away. All right. Let's go over here real quick, and then I'll show you guys a little bit of the pipeline thing, because I know a lot of people are interested in that, so we'll show that off a little bit. Okay, so this is the tool right here. This is the AS Adventure Creator. So this is where it all starts. This is the tool that actually makes the models. I'll show you guys the actual program that runs the models later. It's completely different. So here you have your settings here, and you can add an OpenAI API key and a Google Gemini API key, which will help you out with actually creating stuff. So we use OpenAI for the models because I just think it's better for visual for that. And we're using Omni Flash for Gemini here. But you can use whatever you want, to be honest. Like, you don't have to use this. You don't have to use the auto-generative features. You can just upload them. You can make them yourself and upload them. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even... you could set things up yourself, I guess. But anyway. So it kind of starts here, and let me move this a bit. So we've got the auto generate function here, so you can make something with AI here. And this is to make your base sprite, right? So let's make one of a different character, because I obviously have my character here already. Let's do... you know, let's do one of Kathleen. Kathleen's pretty popular, so we'll do a Kathleen here. So you can drop your character reference here, and if you wanted a different art style, you could drop it in here, but right now it uses like our default art style. We also have a race mode, and I mean, since this is a tool for our company, for our world, Angel Sword, we have these options here. We've got normal, Canolith, and Zolith. So the Canolith is going to be like your kimono mimis, and if you hover over it, it tells you what it does. But it's kind of this is like your cat girls, and then this is like your furries, right? Like if you want to go like, you know, a snout and like fur on your face, then Zolith does that. Canolith is like more cat girls, like kimono mimi, and then normal is for people that don't have cat ears and stuff like that. This Canolith mode and Zolith mode tries its best to remove ears, because there's a problem with double genning ears on these kind of characters. But you know, we'll go normal mode here because we're running Kathleen here, so we'll say Kathleen, and we just describe her a little bit. A short, mischievous brat necromancer with a trolley attitude. All right, and then so that's all we got to do there. And then it will auto detect what key color it thinks you want to have. And if you want to, you can click advanced key color if you have a sheet that has a lot of stuff on it, and you can just do this and it will try to calculate the best key color here. So you're really looking at green or blue here. Since she has a blue staff, we're gonna go with green just to help out a little bit there. Well, actually it says magenta. All right, let's use magenta then. All right, and then you can do your simultaneous generations here. We'll just do 2, and you hit that and it waits for a little bit, so we'll just chill for a bit. my sound not work? Wait. What the hell? It should play my sound. Yeah, no, it's not playing. It should be playing. I don't know. Maybe if I reset.
Quest complete.
Oh, is it just really quiet? I think I heard it. Anyway, so it worked. So let's look back at our thing here. So you can see it made the character, and it, you know, it really depends if you want the character with a weapon or not. I feel like Kathleen will almost always have her staff. So I think we'll select this one actually. So now that you select this, you send it to manual upload. And what that does is it puts it here, and then you can actually choose the framing. And generally you want to use a frame that is like about there, in case you want to use something above your head. You want to do like an action that involves putting stuff above your head, because otherwise it'll hard cut off there. So we're just going to download the PNG, and then we'll just send this to the video generator. So now that you're in the video generator, this is like phase 2, right? You can see there's like a flow up here. So you are going to generate the actual frames for the character now. So let's just do like a basic we'll do a basic idle. So, and I have a little you just drag this here. I have a little bit of a thing here, like a little bit of a guide. So you want to change this. You want to add the color, so magenta background, magenta key background, and then so to the anime sakuga style, character description. So like a bratty necromancer with a trolley attitude, right? And then so what she's going to be doing. So let's just say here like subtle idle animation and perfect seamless loop. You want to add that if you're doing a looping animation, which is like these idle animations are like that. The constraints, you can just leave them, to be honest. The only other constraint I would add is no background music, no background music, no ambient sound. And that's kind of an advanced thing for later, but for now you don't need it. And then we'll go ahead, and since the idle animation, let's just do like 6 seconds. We'll do like something real quick here. And you can do up to 4, but we'll do 2 here. And do note that you do need the API keys for this to work. So you're going to have your own API keys. I'm not giving you guys API keys. But if I do put this online on the website, I might have, like, for people that don't want to download it, I'm going to provide the software for free for anybody that wants to use it locally. I'm thinking about like maybe putting it online and then having a buy credit system so that people can just buy credits through me and run it through our API. And that's more of ease of use, but you don't really need to do that. You can put in your own API key, because I am releasing all of this for free. The only thing I'm probably gonna charge for is like anything that has to do with connecting to a website.
Quest
Or managing a
complete.
website or anything like that. I'm probably gonna do something for that. Anyway, so we've got the videos here and you can kind of see them. That's pretty good. Let's see what this one looks like. I kind of like this one more. This one was more shit eating. And it's also a lot less, has a lot less like movement. You don't really want too much movement in an idle, otherwise it messes up. Guys, the bottom line is, this is not meant to be a replacement for Live2D. It's meant to be a bridge between PNGs and Live2D. So there's no way for it to be super smooth without like literally doing some kind of interpolation, like DLSS sort of a generating in between frames and stuff like that. So it's always going to have a little bit of jitter. It's about minimizing the amount of jitter. In the end, these are PNG, these are not PNGs, these are WebMs that are all moving, right? So if you do too big of an animation and then you cut into another animation that's too big, then you'll have problems, obviously. Anyway, we're gonna use this one, so I just like to save them just in case, but we'll add this to the video preparation now, and so you can see the character here, and this is how you prep the video for the exporter. So it's pretty easy. Really, you just hit the preview loop, so then it caches all the frames. So now that you have all the frames, you want to find the best loop, because you want the front and the back to be the same frame or close to the same frame. That way it actually looks natural. And the way I did that is I added an onion skin toggle here, which overlays the first frame. So you just find the spot near the end that has the least amount of blur. So like that. And then you set the loop point. And then so here is the loop mode. If you want, you can reverse the image, or you could do ping pong, which does like front and back, which is really good for certain looping animations. Or if like you don't really have that many credits or you're not getting good loops, you could do ping pong, which just plays it back and forth. And you can also add a second video. And I mostly added this for Rana. But if you wanted to append a video to the end of this video, you could do that through add second video. Anyway, so that's all we have to do. We have that set up. And then we're just going to model exporter, which automatically keys the entire thing. It has an auto function. And as you can see, it removed the magenta background, completely keyed it out. And it's a pretty... Dude, this algorithm took me a long time, but, you know, anyway, you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, I'm working on making it better. We added a neutralized smoke. So this is like to kind of fix this kind of pink smoking effect. But I'm still working on it. It's kind of a new feature. So you can adjust the similarity here, and you can see like it actually just starts to remove that stuff, right? But you have to make sure it doesn't kill too much of your character as well. So you can go through it. And the similarity will help you to do that. And then you can do the smoothness and spill suppression as well. And if you need to change the scale, like kind of towards the end of this one, you can do that as well. And you can add anti-aliasing, and you can change the crop ratio. And what this crop ratio is really, really good for, and also saturation, if you want to like increase saturation, if the key killed too much of your colors, you can do that, and the brightness. The crop ratio is more if you're running, if you want to use this for like a reactive GIF, like Fugi Tech or something like that. We've got F normal and F premium, Fugi normal, Fugi premium modes, and these are for if you want to do Discord reactives. These these export out to GIF, and they're tied to whatever the Fugi Tech limits are. So if you want to do, if you don't have Fugi premium, using F normal will lock your frames so that it adheres to the policies of Fugi for normal use. And then if you have premium, of course, it increases those thresholds so that you can make use of your premium. I will say though that even if you do use premium, GIFs are pretty heavy, and if you do like a 300 frame GIF, it will completely blow up people's computers that suck. So if you have a friend that has a computer that's not so good, and you Fugi in to their call, it will actually crash their OBS. And I've actually literally done this with Keen. So this is the whole reason I actually started making this system, was because I have a friend named Waho, who's a streamer, and you should check him out. Twitch.tv/wahaha. He was having trouble with Fugi reactive GIFs, and it was blowing up his computer. So I wanted to find a solution for that. So that was kind of where this started, all this entire journey. But anyway, so once you have that done, right, you just go ahead and you can output that. You could do, you could change the frame rates. Frame skip is mostly if you're doing Fugis and you have too many frames. You can do every other frame, but then you're going to have to change the FPS as well. You're gonna have to FPS override as well to half of whatever the FPS is up here. Otherwise, it will it will go too fast. Anyway, so you're just gonna go ahead and let's just call this neutral idle, and then we export, and this will export all of the frames. You can see there's a bar down here. I'll probably skip this in post, but you know. The funny thing is this used to be like 3 different programs. Because it wasn't really meant for this. It was meant for our internal art tools for spriting. And it went from that internal sprite tools into being like, oh, we can use this for Fugis. That would be cool. Oh, we can use this for animated Fugis. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, we can use this for VTubing. Oh, wait, my friend's computer is crashing. Can I make it more efficient for him? And that's kind of like where this went.
Quest complete.
All right, so it's got the WebM now, so we've got that file. And we're going to hold on to that. So now let's go back and let's make the talking animation, right? So we want to have a talking animation here as well. So we're just going to do a bratty necromancer with a trolley attitude. And then we'll just do like... you want to do continuous speaking animation. Because you want continuous in there so that she just keeps talking. Otherwise she'll pause. And then it won't be as clean. So we'll gen that.
Quest complete.
Oh, it only generated one. I guess one failed. It happens. Alright, anyway, let's see what we got. It's honestly pretty perfect. Seems pretty shit-eating. And really trolly. I kind of like it. Alright, let's just go with this. This is fine. And then we're just going to do the same sort of thing, right? We're just going to hit the onion skin. Check for the best frame. Probably that one. Then we just hit set loop, send to here, and you can see you could start doing this insanely freaking fast. Right? Like it's set up to be so streamlined that you just can crank these out insanely fast. And obviously I'm explaining everything, so it's going really slow, but I can crank out a model very fast. So now I'm just going to start setting up to put this in my folder. I will probably optimize how it does exporting later so it does it faster. It is a little bit slow right now. But it is doing a lot. Like, it is, like, cleaning every frame, so...
Quest complete.
Okay, we've got our neutral speaking here. And let's go ahead and put that in our folder. All we do is drop those 2 files that we created into a folder with the character's name on it. And that will update. So all I have to do is refresh the page here. Refresh the page. And then we're going to refresh the overlay as well. And you should be able to just have it right there. And see, like, we just made one right now, like, live. So you can see it's not very hard to do it. So let's make an emote just to show you guys kind of how to do that. It's actually quite simple. Anyways, again, like, I'm trying to set this up so anyone can do it, really. And the point is, I want to make it so that people can make stuff with VTubing without having to spend fuck tons of money. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this. All right, so, you know, now that we've got our Kathleen here, we'll do, like, a basic emote. Like, we won't do a, we won't do something complicated right now. So let's do something kind of easy. All right, so we're gonna do perfect seamless loop. Anytime that you want to go back to a starting animation, you want to do perfect seamless loop. So what would be a good animation for her? Let's say let's have her do like a stupid dance. All right, let's see, she does, okay, we'll just say a stupid graveyard dance like Thriller. All right, and then we'll do 2gen here, and we'll crank it up to 10 because it's like a long, it's a dance, right? So we'll do like 10 and 2 here. And it really, that's all you have to do, right? So we generate that, and you're gonna see just how ridiculously easy this is. And I'm planning on adding like a sound extractor later, but I don't have that right now. But what you would do for this model eventually is you would add all of the other like face tracking states: surprise, sad, happy,
Quest complete,
and eyes closed as well. So let's see what we got here. Okay, that looks so dumb. I like it. Wow. Had a little bit of an issue there, so. I like this one, actually. The second one's good. Alright, let's do this one. We're gonna do this one right here. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and add that. So, since it is a looping animation, again, we want to check the onion skin, and it looks perfect, so we're just gonna go. Now, one important thing here is you're going to want to remove the edge fade because she does get pretty close to the edge. And you can see it starts to fade off the top. So we're just going to reduce edge fades to 0. And then you can see like a little bit of her hands are getting messed up here. So lower the similarity on the key. And that should be good. And then we'll check a couple more frames just to be sure. Looks pretty good. All right. Then we just name this animation and export. Now, if we want to add a sound, what we would do is we would extract the sound from that, which I'll just do that real fast off to the side. But there's no tool for it right now. Like, I'll probably end up making one. I just don't have it yet, but let's extract the sound from this. Okay, I've got the sound extracted. And then you make a folder called emotes. And in the emotes folder, we'll put dance, grave dance. And then we're going to add sound.mp3, which is the sound that we made.
Quest complete.
And we add the animation animation file in there. Oh, it's animation sound. That's why I was wrong. It's animation underscore sound. Okay. That's why it's screwed up. Kathleen, emotes, grave dance. We'll rename that to animation underscore sound. Okay. Alright, so that should be all good. And then all we have to do is refresh the overlay again. And you don't always have to refresh the overlay, but sometimes it breaks stuff if you don't. Alright. So we've got our model back. We're gonna refresh that as well. Re-enable our microphone. Kathleen. Alright. So now I've got the emote, and here it goes. And it's got the sound connected. Oh, did I select the wrong animation? Damn it, I did, didn't I? Oh well. Oh well, I picked the wrong one. It is what it is. Anyway, let's see if I got that glasses adjust sound. There it is. And you can see how fast it is to switch models, actually. Like, it's insanely fast. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys how easy that was. Like, it's really so easy to make models with this. And that's really what I wanted to show you guys. Anyway, I'll keep working on it. Next, maybe I'll show the actual program to do the that handles the model. But I figured you wanted to see how to actually make the models, and you could see again how fast it could be. Like, once you get like the flow of it down, you can make something insanely quickly. Like, you don't really have to. You could make a model in 30 minutes. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked it.